Hello and welcome to today's webinar, where we will be discussing and showcasing a solution for engineering license management and its optimization. Well, thank you all for taking time out and being here today. I'm Abhijit Das, Senior Technical Pre-Sales Engineer here at OpenLM. I have spent more than a decade in software license administration and management with focus on engineering licenses. So first of all, let me introduce our OpenLM. We empower organizations to realize the value of their resources, that is software assets and licenses. If we talk about our presence, currently we have about 1,500 happy customers worldwide, and our customer base includes Fortune and Global 500 companies, some of the top government organizations, universities, and of course the private organizations. We are headquartered in Israel, and we have got physical presence in United States, Japan, Europe, and India. If we talk about our customers vertical, so whether you are in automotive, manufacturing, energy, oil and gas, medicals, science and technology, or any other branch of engineering, we help our customers in managing their softwares. So just to set the context for this webinar, why software license management is required, why it is so important. Well, license management is really a tough job. Gone are the days when you purchased a license for each user and were issued a dongle that entitled a user to access the application. And these days, there are so many licensing models and flavors that it's hard to keep up. But one thing has not changed: how much engineering license and scientific licenses cost. So on an average, they eat up to 10% of companies' IT budget, or that can exceed even 10%. So let me talk about the products that we have been offering: OpenLM for engineering licensing and OpenLM license parser. So OpenLM for engineering licensing, it helps you to manage and monitor all your license directly through our easy to use graphical user interface. It helps in concurrent monitoring of multiple servers on multiple time zones. And that provides detailed license utilization statistics. It can monitor network, floating, as well as standalone applications, which are running on the workstation. And currently we support wide range of license manager, be it FlexLM, DSLS, RMS, LS Dyna, LMX, and whatnot. Our second offering, OpenLM License Parser, it's a service that turns a cryptic license or log into human readable reports. It works like you can just drop your license or log file to receive a detailed and user-friendly representation of license usage statistics, license features, expiration date, then session denials, and many more. And it supports a key format of license and logs like FlexLM, RLM, RMS, DSLS, LS Dyna, LMX, and many others. Well, OpenLM for engineering licensing is available as on-premise and on-cloud, while OpenLM License Parser is available as an online service. So today we are going to talk about OpenLM for engineering licensing. So why OpenLM? First, monitoring. OpenLM monitors all your license servers under your organization, and it displays it in a single friendly interface. This means that you don't have to jump back and forth between different vendor interfaces. You will have all the licensing information that you need in one place. So OpenLM provides you with live streaming data, full reporting capabilities, and statistics prediction to better understand your licensing environment and the overall license utilization of your licenses. Second, managing. So OpenLM helps you with license. OpenLM helps the license administrator directly manage and control usage. He can allocate the licenses to a group of users, harvesting licenses of idle application, and it can prevent license checkout when certain criteria are not met. So it helps you to manage your licenses in a better way. Third, automate. So you will be able to automate your licensing reporting process as once the OpenLM is configured, licensing information flows into the system continuously and fills all the report and widgets that OpenLM has to offer. You can also schedule the reports, or you can set alerts to be sent automatically to managers and any stakeholder who might require licensing information and reports. The next come reduce spending or optimization. So OpenLM has a variety of reports to offer and widgets which indicate the health of your licenses and shows how many ways you can reduce spending on application licenses, whether they are floating or any other type of licensing model. And one of the key aspects is compliance. So lastly, due to the constant automated reporting and reliability of the system, vendors can easily receive up-to-date, validated, and consistent report using OpenLM, either manually or automatically. So this puts your organizations in a very good light when an audit is due. And OpenLM might help you to avoid audits completely, as a vendor will be assured that you are using their product correctly, and he will not need to spend time and money auditing your organization. So let's see what is the deployment architecture of on-premise version of the OpenLM for engineering licensing. So on this diagram, you can see that we have all the different components of OpenLM. So we'll start with the core program, which is OpenLM server program, which is installed on a central network server. It has its own database. Currently, we support MySQL, MS SQL Server, and MariaDB. Now, this connects with the OpenLM broker, which is installed on the network license servers, where you might be hosting DSLS, FlexLM, or any other kind of license manager. So the broker is installed on each license server, and it gets interfaced with the license manager. And it sends out the licensing information to the OpenLM server, which gets stored in the database. And from there, as a license administrator or as an end user, you can view the licensing information or the statistics on any workstation within your organization's network using a web browser like Chrome, Firefox, or Edge. We also have an optional component, the OpenLM agent, which is installed on the end user workstation. So it monitors the process running on the end user workstation. Like for example, for AutoCAD, it will monitor acad.txt. For CATIA, it will monitor the cnext.txt program. So using that process, it identifies whether the application is getting idle or not on that workstation. And also, if there is any standalone application that you want to monitor using OpenLM, then you need the OpenLM agent to be deployed on the workstation. And this connects with the OpenLM server, sends out the information. And again, as the license administrator, you can view the information, the statistics on the user interface of OpenLM. So basically, these are the different components of OpenLM. Apart from this, you can also integrate or synchronize your Active Directory with OpenLM, for which you have to install DSS and DSA, the Directory Synchronization Service and Agent. And this will help you to integrate the Active Directory into the OpenLM system. Also, since we have the capability of sending email alerts to the stakeholders, so for that reason, you can enter the SMTP server details into the OpenLM server program, and then you can schedule the reports, you can send out email or alert emails from the OpenLM to the stakeholder. So basically, this is the on-premise architecture of OpenLM product. So these are some of the different license managers that we are currently supporting, and the list is increasing day by day. Now, another important functionality of OpenLM is idle session tracking. The benefit of idle session monitoring is you can make informed decision on the license maintenance and procurement. You can optimize the license allocation within the organization. And you can improve the license consumption habits and minimize license hogging. So how does it actually work? Well, OpenLM has the capability to identify whether an application is getting idle on a workstation or not. So let me give you an example. A user comes into the office at 8 a.m. and he logs into the workstation. Then he starts an application, an engineering application. And in a way, he has just checked out a license from the pool and he has minimized the window. Maybe he's working on something else, he's chatting with his friend, or he has went out for a short tea, or maybe he's typing an email. But he has minimized the application for which he checked out the license. So he's using his workstation. He's not sitting idle, but the application for which he checked out the license from the pool, that application itself is in idle state, and it is not being actively used. So what the license manager will think on the server, that since the license has been checked out, which means that the application is in use, but actually it is not. So here comes OpenLM into the picture, and it informs the license administrator that this application on this workstation by this user is getting idle. And how it determines the application's idling? It checks few parameters like CPU utilization, input-output data, memory, and then it identifies whether the application is getting idle or not. So this, in OpenLM terms, we call it as actual usage. So actively, it monitors the actual usage of an application, that is the idle session. And this improves the license availability and boosting application efficiency. Apart from this, we also have the capability of monitoring and controlling application usage. So here you can monitor and control, using OpenLM, you can actually monitor and control the use of any Windows-based software in your organization, any custom written application, software that is supplied without a license manager, and those that come with their own proprietary license manager. So what are the key benefits of this control, of this functionality? So basically, you can manage any software that does not have a license manager, but is, or that does has a license manager, but is not in the OpenLM license manager list. It helps you in implementing extra business rule to manage licenses for a vendor. And a license manager example, you can prevent launching different versions of product which don't conform to the end user license agreement. You can permit or deny access to licenses for a particular product based on location, working hours, work group, and priority. So you can allocate licenses accordingly. And of course, you can, meter, you can check the idle session or the actual usage of applications. Another important functionality of OpenLM is license retrieval. So you can automate the license retrieval of idle applications. So how does it work? You can intervene in idle user sessions and either close the session after saving the work or suspend the user's screen. So also you can close the session automatically. So how does it help in practically? So now if someone forgot to log out, in that case, the application would lie idle and the license is actually checked out, but it is not in use. So in such cases, there might be, a second user who is in the second shift and he's waiting to get a license. So in such cases, you can automate the license release after a certain specific time period of idling. And there are certain ways to do it. Like in OpenLM, you can do it manually for FlexLM based applications, or you can use save and close feature, which is available for specific applications like CATIA, MATLAB, ArcGIS, Autodesk, and few others. You can use the suspend resume functionality, which is available for idle FlexLM applications. Or there is something called enhanced agent procedure, where you can use some scripts to retrieve the license and display a message on the end user workstation's screen. Now we'll talk about the reports which are available in OpenLM. So as I discussed in the initial slides, that OpenLM gives you a very detailed report of license usage statistics. So if we categorize those reports, there are three categories in which OpenLM will provide you with the licensing information. First is real-time license utilization, historical data usage, and the third category is optimization and forecasting. So these are some of the different reports which you can view in user interface of OpenLM, like license usage, activity, denial, project usage, group usage, which means you can generate usage report based on departments, license usage, or business units license usage, feature usage per group, feature usage by user, then the license inventory, license not in use, license utilization. There are a lot of different reports which are part of these three categories. So let's take a tour of the live console, which we call it as OpenLM Easy Admin. So this is the user interface of OpenLM. Once you log into OpenLM user interface, you get this kind of a screen. Here, so let me talk about the first category of report, which is real-time license utilization, where you get to see a few different reports with very detailed information of how the licenses are being currently used. So on this screen, if you see in this window, we are able to see all the different application licenses that we have interfaced with OpenLM for monitoring. We can see its health status of all the different license services, the type of license manager it is using, on which server it is hosted, which port it is using, and the quantity of licenses, and the current utilization of those licenses. So all this information that you see here related to the quantity, the usage, borrowed, the percentage, it picks up from the license file, from the license output log file, and from there it picks up the details. So there is no manual entry of anything. Everything is picked up from the license server itself. So this is the real-time license utilization. Now, if you want to quickly have a look of who are these users of ANSYS, GIS, simply click on that number and the report will be generated, and it will display all those 23 usernames who are consuming the license currently. Now, that is one report of the real-time license utilization. In this category, another important report is currently consumed licenses, where you would be able to see all the different, products, their features, which licenses has been pulled by which user on which workstation, and that user is part of which group or which department, what time the session started, workstation host name, then duration of the session, and all the details, including if there is any idle period or not. Third report in the same category here I would like to show is the feature usage status, where you can create a dashboard of your own, populating all the different important features of different license services, which you might be interested in to monitor all the time or very frequently. So you don't have to actually generate the current utilization statistics one by one. You simply populate all those features from different license servers in one window, and this will automatically get refreshed after every 60 seconds and give you a very good picture of how the licenses are being used currently. So here I have like populated this module of Autodesk. Then from our GIS, I have Arc Viewer, then ANSYS flow truck. So now here, if I can see that 90.9% of the licenses are in use. So 10 out of 11 are in use. Let's check who are these 10 users. Simply click on this number and this will open up the currently consumed license window with detail of all those 10 users who have checked out the license. So this is how you get very detailed report in just click of a button. Now, second category of report in the same OpenLM user interface is historical data usage. Very frequently used report, because here you get to know how the license has been used for a particular time period of time. So let me select a report here. Basically, license usage report will give you a graphical analysis of the license usage pattern across a specific time period which you select. So if you are interested to, if you want to know what was the license utilization for a period of 1 month or maybe 15 days or 3 months or 6 months, you can simply generate this report to get an idea of how the licenses have been used over a period of time. The same report you get in table format, where it will show you the maximum concurrent licenses used out of the total licenses. And we also have something called heat map, where it gives you a very good representation in terms of like 24-hour format of a day. So if you have users who are working in shift and you want to know which shift has got maximum licenses available, so that you can plan your employees shift accordingly. So in this case, we have, we can see that, okay, during the evening hours till 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., the license usage is very high, whereas in the morning hours, licenses are available, or in the night shift, the licenses are available. So if you have users working in shift, you can plan for more users coming in the night shift, because then you don't have to, procure licenses to make it available for the users who are working in evening shift. So this helps you in license forecasting, or planning your licensing requirement for the future. All these reports that you view here, you can download them. If it's a graph, it will be downloaded in .png image format. If it's a table, it will be downloaded in .csv format. And you can also schedule these reports so that it is sent on a specific day, every week, or every month to the key stakeholder, whosoever you want to share the report with. Now, in this report, you don't see the usernames. So what if you are interested to know who are the users? So for that, we have another report called License Activity Report. Now, in License Activity Report, it will capture all the different sessions of the user. So if a user starts a session he starts the application on say AutoCAD or PTC Creo at 10 a.m. He closes the session at 10:20 again, starts a session at 11 a.m. Then he works on that application for next 3 hours. Then at 2 p.m. he closes the application, checks in the license back to the pool. So all those different sessions are recorded into the OpenLM database, and you can view that information in license activity report. Now, in this license activity report, you get very detailed information like the user's workstation host name, what time the session started, what time it ended, which feature was in use, then the product name, then for how long he had used in hours, which department he's part of, then if there was any idle period in that session or not. Then some additional details like his country, first name, last name, email address. So if that is there in the database, like if it is getting that information from the Active Directory, or if you have put that information manually into the database of OpenLM, then you get that detailed report here. So this report can also be scheduled, and you can also extract this report in .csv file. And you can, if there are a lot of users or a lot of different features, then you can simply sort all the different features according to their usage hours. So this will help you to understand that which feature of the application is highly used and which feature is least used. Similarly, you can sort out the users by their usage hours. Now, in the second category of report, we also have something called denial report. Now, this report becomes very important to understand how, if you are short of licenses for any application or any particular feature, because we know that we would also always want to have enough licenses available, but it's also very important to understand if there is any very high usage of an application license and if the users are getting denial, because then the user is not getting the license, he's not able to perform his job to the 100%. So basically in this report, it will tell you which feature or which user or which particular licenses you need to consider procuring more number of licenses, or you need to monitor the usage very closely. And OpenLM denial report gives you the minute information, like it will even tell you which error did the user got when he got the denial. So there can be an instance where, most common one is where user was denied of a license because the maximum limit of licenses had reached, or he might be trying to check out a license for a version for which you don't have the license. So that information is captured here in the table. In the last column, you would be able to see the error that the user had got. So this is something that we get in the denial information. Apart from this, we also have certain reports which helps the license administrator in his day-to-day activity, like license expiry report, which we call it as license procurement report. So like most of the vendors, they are now moving to subscription-based license where they provide you with a license file that has got an expiry date. So either as a license administrator, you take the pain to maintain that expiry date manually on an Excel file, or you can set the or you can check the expiry date using OpenLM, where it will read the license file from the server and it will display the expiry date of each feature that you have on the server accurately, because there is no manual mistake. It is picking up the data, it is picking up the expiry date directly from the license file. And you can also view how many quantity of those licenses are getting expired. So even if it's a perpetual license, for instance, in case of Siemens or in case of Dassault, who provide with whom you might be having an perpetual agreement, but when they issue a license, that license has got an expiry date, which is very important to monitor, because if the license gets expired, users won't get the license, the business will get hampered. So for such cases, which is very critical operation, it might sound that okay, it's just maintaining the expiry date, but as a license admin, we all know that it's very important to keep a track of that information. So OpenLM provides you with readily available data. And not only that, you can actually set an alert that for next 15 days, whichever license is getting expired, you get an email from the OpenLM uh, along with a list of licenses which are due to expire. So it's automated. You can set up an alert. You don't have to check that report manually by logging into the user interface of OpenLM again and again. Simply set up an alert or a weekly alert, and OpenLM will send you the weekly alert automatically at that specific day and time which you want to. Now, the third category of report here in this is the license reharvesting or optimization, or which helps you in forecasting the license. So here we have got two reports: license utilization and license not in use. So license utilization report will help you to understand that how many licenses you actually require for an application to run the show. So here in this case, like I have selected this Autodesk feature, and for that feature, I have got total 10 licenses. And based on the usage pattern of last 60 days, and with a quality of service percentage set up as 90, it tells me that I don't require 10 licenses. Instead, 6 are enough. I can manage the show with 6 licenses also. Now, what is this quality of service percentage? It tells me that 90% of the time user will get a license. Rest 10% of the time he might get a denial. So considering that parameter, it tells me this quality of service line, which tells me that I need only 6 licenses and not 10 in the future. So even if I consider taking, retaining 2 more licenses as buffer, still I can save the cost on 2 licenses. And as we all know that engineering licenses are highly cost. So we can save the cost on those 2 licenses. The next report in the same category is licenses not in use, which means that, as the name suggests, that it will tell you which license you have never used in the past. So when you're going for license renewal, subscription renewal, AMC renewal, at that time you can refer to this report, and this will tell you which feature you have not used in the past. And when we talk about licenses from vendors, they provide us a license file with 100 of features, out of which we don't know actually for which feature we are paying the AMC cost. So if we have this report handy, then we can go ahead and negotiate with the vendor also that we don't require these features because we never use them. So again, there you can save a lot of cost just referring to this report. So it's available on just click of a button, and you can save a lot of cost on your license expenditure. Apart from this, we have got several extensions, like we have something called roles and permission, where you can set up specific role. Like for example, if it's a project manager who requires only reporting access to OpenLM and not any other thing, so you can just create a role for him, assign him certain permission to view the reports, and he would be able to access OpenLM user interface and view only the reports. Similarly, we have something called alert management, where you can set up alert on the basis of different conditions. Like if you want to set up an alert for license getting expired, or you want to set up an alert for when the license server is still down, it's not reporting to OpenLM, it will immediately send out an email alert to you. And even in cases where license usage of a specific application is very high, in such cases also, if you set up that, okay, I want to receive an alert when the license usage exceeds 95%, because then I have to check if any user is idling the session or not. So such kind of alerts you can set up. And there are many more different conditions on the basis of which you can set up an alert. And you can send that alert email to the key stakeholders. So let's get back to the slides. So these are the different extensions I was talking about. Active agent, which is used for license reharvesting. Roles and permissions, I just explained. Directory synchronization, you can synchronize your Active Directory, your organization's Active Directory with OpenLM. Then we have the external DB support for MySQL, MS SQL, and MariaDB that we are currently supporting. We have something called Reporting Hub, which helps you with customized reports based on specific requirement of your organization, because embedded reports might not, you might want to have some additional requirement to be taken care of in the report structure. So for that purpose, we have Reporting Hub. We have alert management, that you can also generate usage report on the basis of groups or department or business units. Then we have the capability to monitor the idle session, and also we can track usage on the basis of different projects. Now here we have something called integration with ServiceNow. So we have a collaboration with ServiceNow, where we have an integrated solution for the management of engineering software licenses for ServiceNow platform users. So OpenLM integrates with a variety of license management services in users' environment, bringing the information into ServiceNow software asset management, which act as a single system of record in action. So reports can be created on license usage, user activity, denial, alerts, etc. And thus users can easily monitor the concurrent license consumption for more forecasting. They can track and reduce software spend by optimizing the license usage. You can avoid employee productivity losses by monitoring license denial. And it also provides support for audit and contract renewal. So with engineering license management, customers gain more visibility into engineering software license position and usage, helping to avoid audit risk and overspending. Now, whatever we discussed till now was, we discussed about the deployment architecture of OpenLM for engineering licenses, the on-premise version. Now we will talk about the cloud version. So first of all, let me take you to the next slide, which is the on-cloud architecture. So components are same, everything is same, functionality is same. Only difference is how you deploy it. So here you don't have to take the pain of building a separate server for hosting the OpenLM server program. You can just relax and connect your license servers with the OpenLM server program, which is hosted on our cloud. So what you need is the OpenLM broker to be installed on the license servers, which is there in your network. Deploy the agent on the workstations in your network, and connect them all to the OpenLM server, which is there on the cloud. So here you don't have to, take the pain of hosting a server, maintaining it, upgrading the OpenLM server program periodically, because everything is taken care of by our team. This infrastructure is managed by us. So you can just sit back and relax and view the license utilization reports and the statistics through a display on any device on your within your network using a web browser like Firefox, Edge, or Chrome. So now what is the benefit? It's very simple to set up. Maintenance and bug fixes are served automatically. Um, Easy configuration through web interface. So you can configure all the license managers easily through the web interface with OpenLM. OpenLM learning curve is brought to a minimum because then you just have to continue monitoring the licenses and relax. You don't require any additional hardware for hosting the OpenLM server program. And it's a very comprehensive solution when we talk about the hardware and software. And it is fully maintained. The maintenance is done by the OpenLM team. Now, when we talk about cloud, a lot of questions comes to our mind. And the first question, the basic one is it secure or not? Will my data will be secured or not? Because it is going out of my network to the cloud. So yes, it is completely secure because it is hosted by a leading online service provider, maintained in a secured facility. The data transmission is very secure. Communication is over the HTTPS protocol and it's encrypted. Database is completely isolated for each customer and it is not designed to use one central database for all the customers. And within the application also, we have the OpenLM role-based security, which allows only the users who are entitled to view the reports or access user interface of OpenLM. So what are the benefits of using OpenLM for engineering licenses? First, it helps you to understand what you have. It gives you a complete picture of your license inventory. Once you have a detailed license usage information, like how many hours the license was in use, who was the end user, from which business unit he belonged, you can even go for chargeback on the basis of software usage time. It gives you a very good scope or opportunity to optimize the license, save cost on licenses, because the reports have all those details. It can help you to forecast license requirement more accurately. It gives you a detailed report with software usage information for license management. It gives better license visibility for the end user. So we have something called personal dashboard for the end user as well. So if you're an engineering user and you want to check which licenses are currently available, so in the personal dashboard, you can view the recently closed applications or who is consuming the licenses. So if it's within your team, you can know you don't need to bother the license admin. You can simply go ahead and communicate with the user and tell him that if he's not doing any important task or if it's idle, he can just release the license and you can use it. And as a license administrator, you can identify the unjustified expenses on software that is not used, because then you have greater visibility of the licenses. You know if the licenses are getting idle or not, or how the licenses have been used in the past. So these are the different benefits. These are not the only benefit, but some of the benefits of key benefits of using OpenLM for engineering licenses. So with this slide, I would like to thank you all, and we are open to queries and questions from your end. Thank you. All right. Thanks a lot, everyone, for joining today's webinar. I hope you liked it and it was informative. We did receive a lot of questions from your end, and we have been trying to answer everyone for your queries. If you need more information about OpenLM, if you're interested to further explore this tool for optimizing your licenses, saving a lot of cost, managing your licenses, then please do reach out to us. You can send us an email to sales@openlm.com, or you can reach out to me as well through LinkedIn. I'm there available. Also, my email ID is abhijit.das@openlm.com. So we will be happy to assist you further with all your queries, all your questions that you might have.
Abhijit, Oyon here. So first of all, thank you to all, and it would be great if you just type your email ID and the other contact details on a screen and share it. I think everybody can note it down.
So a few more questions are there, which I would like to answer here. Like one question is how OpenLM manage the SaaS-based application. So we do support a few SaaS-based applications, and we are adding up more and more with new releases. So that is there in our support. We do support them, like Autodesk Cloud and Microsoft O365 licenses are also supported. Is OpenLM monitor the timing of a folder with a particular working file? I'm sorry, but I did not got the question. Maybe so basically, in this case, OpenLM monitors the licenses and the software usage, of course. So if that particular folder, which are if that has an exe file or a process file, then it can monitor whether that process is running on the workstation or not, which means that the application is in use or not. What OpenLM does with then there is a question, what OpenLM does with the data once agreement is ended or customer decided to stop usage of OpenLM. So data is completely secured. We don't use it. It is the customer's property. So we don't use, first of all, in on-premise version, we don't get any data from your network. We don't need internet connectivity on the server. So data is completely secured, and in case you are going for cloud version of OpenLM, in that case also we are not using that data anymore. So we have proper NDAs in place before the deal is done, and we make sure that your data is completely secured and it is not used by anyone else. All right. Any other question? If you have, we still have 5 minutes, we can discuss on that. In the meantime, I'll just introduce my other panelist here. We also have Oyan Ghosh. He is the country manager for OpenLM, and he handles the accounts in OpenLM India. And my other colleague here is Tabassum Mirza. She is the marketing team member from OpenLM India.
Thank you, Abhijit. Thank you for the introduction, and I would like to thank everybody for coming and attending the session. Thank you so much, and I hope we have been able to address all the queries as far as.
Yeah, sorry, there is one more question. Can OpenLM harvest client software which are not in use from a specific time? Yes, in fact, that is one of the key feature of OpenLM. It can detect idle time first. So if there is an application lying idle for a lot of time, and for a specific time period which the license administrator or the OpenLM admin can define in the system, then it will identify that application. If it is lying idle, the license admin can also automate the license release functionality. So it can harvest the client software which is not used from a specific time. So that functionality is there, which we call it as license reharvesting or license automatic retrieval. Someone raised the hand, but if you could please type down the question. Okay, I think this is something related to sales, Oyan. What will be the cost of OpenLM?
Well, I have my mail ID as oyon@openlm.com. Please, in fact, OpenLM is available for as little as 5 vendor demo and 50 users, and we have the user organizations who have more than 15,000 users across the globe. So please drop me an email at oyon@openlm.com. I'll answer that in one-to-one basis.
Yeah, I just typed down your email ID there. So
right. Manish Raturi, he also posted another question, if he's there still. How OpenLM manage the SaaS-based application? So
I already answered that.
Okay, fine. Okay. Yeah. So we are coming up with, we have already come up with that OpenLM hosted applications monitoring services.
So I think we are done with all the queries. And if you have any specific query, if you want to know about any specific functionality you are looking for, please do reach out to us. We have shared our email addresses in the chat, and we would be happy to answer all your queries or all your doubts which you might have. I thank you all once again for joining today's webinar. It was very interactive. We have tried to answer everyone, and let's connect again. And we plan to bring more number of webinars in the future and share the knowledge that we have.
Right. In fact, this is the first time we are doing it for the in the Indian time zone, specifically keeping the our existing users and our partners keeping in mind. Partners from the same industries, partners from the system integrators, as well as our end customers. In fact, we wish to plan it, this webinar on a regular basis, where our existing customers would also be coming up with their case studies, how they are managing their software assets with OpenLM. And I think that would be, and also some regular training programs and the certifications that we are planning to bring to the Indian users. So thank you all. Thank you, Abhijit. And thank you, Tabassum, for organizing this. So, and thank you all.
I would like to add, also I would like to add, please do visit our website, www.openlm.com. You'll find a list of customers that we have globally and testimonials from our customers where they have been able to utilize the software to its full strength and able to save a lot of cost, optimize their licenses, and manage their licenses in a better way. So once again, thank you all for joining. With this, we are signing off.
Also, we are open to all the
Yeah.
suggestions. You would receive a question and answer a panel of questions post this session. I would be glad to receive your answers there, so that I can plan the further webinars accordingly as per your preferences, because I think we are here to make the best out of the sessions. So I hope you guys will write back to us. You have the concerned mail IDs, and I am here to address this. 3 of us are available on LinkedIn. You have our mail IDs. You can write us anytime, and we can get back to you. Right. Thank you so much for joining in.